like my top 3 dreams as a kid, was like be the hands of Cheeto, be a superhero, and be a literal doll. Brooke, I'm 3 for 3, so I'm dying a happy man.
Yeah, great, perfect. Hold here.
You can't even see me.
Can you give me a little bit of something with the fingertips? Maybe a bit of a waggle?
A waggle?
A waggle. Yeah, that. Do that, but with your fingertips. Yes.
Hey, Simu, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with Narcity. So you got a nice little background there. How we doing?
I got a nice little spread. Like, I thought I'd spruce up the place with a little bit of orange. I thought it needed a little pop of color. As you can see, the walls are very gray. And then, funny thing, I had all these Cheetos lying around, and so I just started arranging them. And 3 hours later, this is what I came up with. So
I love it. It feels very fitting. Now you're the face. Sorry, the hands of Cheeto. So your apartment kind of has to reflect that, I feel.
Yeah.
What made you want to be the hand of Cheeto?
Who doesn't want to be the hand of Cheeto? I feel like that was like on my dream board. That was like my top 3 dreams as a kid, was like be the hands of Cheeto, be a superhero, and be a literal doll. And Brooke, I'm 3 for 3, so I'm dying a happy man.
You've been traveling so much. You're in Toronto, you're in LA, you've gone to some amazing destinations around the world. With winter coming up for Torontonians, if they could have one vacation, where should they go?
Where should they go? That's a really good question. It depends. One of my favorite things to do is to plan itineraries for myself, for other people. My instinct would be to say, go somewhere tropical, go to Cancun, go to, last winter I went to Anguilla, which is crazy. I maybe 2 years ago didn't even know that Anguilla existed, but it's got some of the most beautiful beaches and amazing people you'll ever meet. But if you're a cold weather person and you love the slopes, then go to Tremblant. Go to Whistler, stay in Canada, do a little après ski. You know what I mean? It all just depends on what you want. But the most important thing is that you replenish yourself. Rest your body and your soul and your mind, and do it with a little bit of Cheeto on your fingertips. You know what I mean?
We did it, Simu.
Yeah, face of Cheetos. That's a big deal.
Yeah, there's just like a couple of things in the contract I want you to peruse.
Yeah, sure. Wait. So I can't sign autographs?
You hosted the Junos again this year. What did you think of the person who crashed during Avril Lavigne's presentation?
It takes a lot of something to go up on a stage, a nationally televised stage with a Canadian sweetheart, and then to just, show it all. I wouldn't be able to. Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes something amounting to courage, or that fine line between courage and stupidity. I don't know where she was. I think she was all over that line and over on both sides and just hop stepping. But what I really was surprised by is how long the security let it go on for, because I saw it happening backstage and I was like, oh my God. And then it just went on for another 30 seconds. And I wonder if it was because it was just so brazen that the security guard was like, oh, well, this must be a part of the show. But I mean, for those of us who knew that it wasn't, I think we were just horrified, just standing there, watching it happen. And I know that particular woman had a cause that she was there to promote. I don't know what that had to do with breasts, but it was something about that message I think maybe got lost in the nudity of it all.
I mean, it was an effective way to get people talking. And,
Sure.
Talking about people talking, have you ever Googled yourself? And what was the most surprising thing you learned? And what was one wild and untrue thing you learned?
Oh my God. Yeah, I've Googled, I've done it a couple times. I would say it's terrible for mental health. Cause it's like that thing in high school where it's like, if people are talking about you, would you rather know what they're saying or not? I don't really want to get into specifics, but I think there's definitely been untrue things that I've read about myself. And I think the thing that is hard about this whole, I don't know, I guess this fame thing is you come up in a place where at one point in your career, everything you hear is generally pretty supportive. And then, you get to a place, and I think that's maybe indicative of like where, one is at in their career when the negativity starts to happen. And, I think it takes a real discipline and a strength of mind to say, I'm not going to be able to get through to everyone. I'm not going to be able to explain myself to everyone or to tell the truth to everyone. Not everyone's going to want to hear it. Not everyone's going to, care, which fair enough, and you just got to let the haters hate because, as they say, haters going to hate.
So I'm going to read you some Narcity headlines about you, and I want you to react. Okay? Just top of mind. So we're going to start. Simu Liu was a total fanboy at Taylor Swift's concert and shared some deep cut Swiftie takes.
Yeah. I have been a bit more of a Swiftie in recent. I mean, I think I've always been like a casual fan. I know the songs that everyone else knows, and Taylor's released some absolute bangers over the years. Her 1989 era in the Eras tour was like, I was pretty much on my feet jumping the whole time. What I've really learned to appreciate in this last year is some of the like lesser known songs, or some of her like, it's not the stuff that is potentially like maybe the catchiest, but there's real insight and real heart in, and songs like, we'll just talk about Midnights first, like songs like The Great War, which is one of my favorites, one of my absolute favorites. Songs like Daylight, songs that like are just, they're so, songs like Cornelia Street, like they're so specific. Songs like All Too Well, 10-minute version, they're so specific, and because they're so specific, they're so universally relatable. And she's got this just wonderful, unique ability to just tap into what everyone is feeling, and I think she's so real for that,
So I got the next one for you. Okay, this one's a little spicy, so buckle up. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Simu Liu's new book has inspired some extremely thirsty reviews, and apparently he's a daddy.
Okay. That's so interesting that the book would inspire that, but I appreciate that because the book is that's a very vulnerable part of me. It feels like I'm bearing more of myself than that woman that crashed the stage at the 2023 Juno Awards, but it's a similar action, if you will, of just like the vulnerability of like just showing all of the parts of yourself. And maybe that book is doing it in a more metaphorical sense, less on the nose, but still definitely just like, yeah. So I appreciate that. I'm very proud of the book, and I'm glad that people are responding to it in whatever positive way that they so choose.
Simu Liu says he grew up the definition of poor, and that treating his parents is the greatest.
It is the greatest, and I'm sure my parents would have something to say about what I said. But we weren't well off by any means, but we made it work. And what was great too is I got to watch my parents grow in their careers from when I first came to Canada, it was about 4.5. My parents were they were in grad school. They were living off of scholarship money, and I got to witness them get their first jobs and get promoted, and both my parents worked at the same engineering company together for like 20 years. And they, and I got to watch them grow and get promoted and get to a place where they could buy their first house. Of course, they wouldn't be able to afford it in this day and age with the prices the way that they are, but back then it was still possible. And that's the house that I grew up in and the house that they still live in. So I'm just so proud of them. Their story is so inspirational, so much more inspirational than anything I'll ever do. And I'm very grateful to be in a position now where I can show appreciation and I can give back and let them know that, their next few years are going to be the definition of not poor, and that we're going to just go ham and I'm going to spoil the crap out of them.
Oh, well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. It's always a pleasure. Always love chatting with you. And congratulations on Cheetos. Keep those fingers in tip-top shape, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for referencing Cheetos. It's very important to me.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our Narcity channel to see more great content.